Have you ever heard of a place on Earth where ships and planes just vanish without a trace? A mysterious, watery graveyard that has swallowed countless vessels and souls, leaving behind only legends and unanswered questions. Today, we're diving deep into one of the world's most enduring enigmas, the Bermuda Triangle. For decades, this infamous stretch of the Atlantic Ocean, roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has captured the public imagination. The stories are legendary. Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy bombers, disappeared during a training mission in 1945. The rescue plane sent to find them also vanished. The USS Cyclops, a massive Navy cargo ship with over 300 people on board, was lost in 1918. No distress call, no wreckage, nothing. These are just a few of the tales that have fueled theories of paranormal activity, alien abductions, and portals to other dimensions. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie. Right, but for a long time, these were the explanations many people considered. The mystery was so potent, the stories so compelling, that the Bermuda Triangle became a global phenomenon, a symbol of the unknown and the unexplained. But what if I told you that the greatest mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is why it was ever considered a mystery at all? Let's peel back the layers of myth and look at the hard facts. The first thing you need to know is that organizations that track global shipping and air traffic, like the U.S. Coast Guard and Lloyd's of London, do not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a uniquely hazardous area. In fact, they state that the number of incidents within this region is no higher than in any other heavily trafficked part of the ocean. Think about it. This is one of the busiest shipping and flight corridors in the world. Thousands of boats and planes cross it safely every single day. Statistically, with such high volume, accidents are bound to happen. So, let's go back to those famous cases. Take Flight 19. The official Navy report pointed to the flight leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was an experienced pilot but was new to the area. Audio logs show he became confused about his location, believing his compasses were malfunctioning, and that he was over the Florida Keys when he was actually far out over the Atlantic. The weather that day also turned notoriously bad. With high winds and rough seas, it was a tragic case of human error compounded by severe weather, not a supernatural event. And the rescue plane that vanished, it was a Martin Mariner aircraft, which had a known history of exploding in midair due to fuel vapor leaks. In fact, a tanker ship in the area reported seeing a huge fireball in the sky, right around the time the rescue plane would have been there. What about the USS Cyclops? While its disappearance remains unsolved, there are plenty of logical explanations. The ship was carrying a heavy load of manganese, ore, which can shift and cause a vessel to capsize very quickly. It was also sailing into a region known for sudden, violent storms. Many naval historians believe the ship likely encountered a rogue wave or an unexpected storm and sank before it could even send a distress signal. No aliens needed. So where did all the mystery come from? A lot of it can be traced back to sensationalist writers in the 1950s, 60 segundos, and 70s. Authors like Vincent Gaddis, who coined the term Bermuda Triangle, and Charles Bell, whose book became a massive bestseller, took real incidents, stripped them of their context, embellished the details, and sometimes just made things up. They ignored weather reports, overlooked mechanical failures, and disregarded official investigation findings. They were selling a story, and a mysterious paranormal tale sells a lot better than bad weather and equipment failure. For example, many of the ships and planes listed as triangle victims actually disappeared hundreds of miles outside its supposed boundaries, or were lost during well-documented catastrophic hurricanes. Some stories were of boats that were later found, or were simply fictional tales that got repeated as fact. The legend grew because of selective storytelling and a public appetite for a good mystery. Now, let's talk about the science. Is there anything geographically or physically unique about this area? Well, yes, but it's not supernatural. The Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current, runs right through the triangle. It's like a river within the ocean, and it can cause rapid, extreme changes in weather. The area is also known for its deep oceanic trenches, including the Puerto Rico Trench, which is over 27,000 feet deep. If a ship or plane were to sink there, finding the wreckage would be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, with current technology. There's also the theory of methane gas eruptions. The idea is that large deposits of frozen methane gas on the seafloor could suddenly thaw and erupt, creating a huge plume of gas that massively reduces the density of the water above it. Any ship caught in this frothy gas-filled water would lose buoyancy and sink almost instantly. While this is a plausible scientific theory and has been demonstrated in lab settings, there is no direct evidence that this has ever been the cause of a specific disappearance in the Bermuda Triangle. It remains a fascinating possibility, but not a confirmed explanation. Another factor is the region's magnetic properties. It's one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north align. In the past, this could have caused confusion for navigators relying on traditional compasses if they weren't aware of it. However, modern ships and aircraft don't rely solely on magnetic compasses. They use advanced GPS and inertial navigation systems that aren't affected by this anomaly. So, while it might have been a contributing factor in historical incidents, it's not the mystery key that some have claimed. So, in the end, the Bermuda Triangle isn't a paranormal vortex, but rather a perfect storm of other factors. High traffic, volatile weather, powerful ocean currents, deep trenches, and a healthy dose of human error. The real story is how sensationalism and myth-making can turn a series of unrelated tragedies into a legendary global mystery. The planes and ships weren't removed by aliens or strange forces. They were victims of the same dangers that sailors and aviators face all over the world. The difference is that the incidents in this particular area were packaged and sold to us as something more. The legend is far more exciting than the reality, but the reality is where the truth lies. The mystery has been solved not by paranormal investigators, but by historians, scientists, and statisticians who looked at the facts. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to demystify the Bermuda Triangle. It's a great reminder to always question the stories we hear and look for the evidence. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you do. You won't miss our next adventure into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.